Spirit of humanity, Spirit of the divine, may this chalice be for us a reminder of how brightly we shine. Please join us in our gathering song this morning, which is number 354. We laugh, we cry. The words are copied in the chat screen. Please keep your mics muted and sing along at home as you would like.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing a song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a time to be together, and with the grace of age we share the wonder of youth, and we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die, and when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found our joy
Thank you so much, Barb. Thank you, Bruce. Come into this time where all people are welcome. Come in where all songs can be sung. Come into this place where we can exist moment by moment exactly as we are. Come into this time with joy. Good morning on this beautiful morning. I'm Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I'm speaking to you today from land that's the traditional territory of the indigenous Bohote or Iowa people. Meg Notch is today's celebrant. Bruce Martin is our pianist, and Barb Martin is our wonderful song leader. If you would, please keep your microphones on mute during the service, and after the service, you can turn on your mics. Join us in the coffee hour breakout rooms. And this afternoon at noon, I'm doing something different. I'm opening up a talkback session. So if you're interested in sharing your comments, arguing, having something to say about the subject of today's sermon, come back to this link just like you were going to service, and I'll be hanging out and we can have a talkback about the service. We're trying this out to see if anybody's interested. So it's the same Zoom link you used to come in here. Come back at noon if you want to have Preacher Fight Club and have some discussion about today's sermon.
Welcome. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Des Moines Digital Service. My name is Meg Notch. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I am the celebrant for this morning's service. Whether you are here with us for the day or here for a lifetime, we are glad that you've chosen to join us online. Everyone's welcome to join us for a service, whether or not you live here in Des Moines or have ever physically even been at First Unitarian. Whoever you are, we hope that you will find something here today to help you on your life's journey. And now, we will be hearing a story from Reverend Amy for all ages.
Our story for all ages this morning is called I Am Human, a book of empathy by Susan Verde, who's the author, and Peter H. Reynolds, who's the illustrator. And it's a lovely little book. Let's see if I can get this to go well.
I Am Human, a book of empathy by Susan Verde, art by Peter H. Reynolds. I was born, a miracle, one of billions, but unique. I am human. I am always learning. I'm finding my way and choosing my path on this incredible journey. I have big dreams. I see possibility. I have endless curiosity. I make discoveries. I have a feeling of wonder. I am amazed by nature. I have a playful side. I find joy in friendships. I am human. But being human means I am not perfect. I make mistakes. I can hurt others with my words, my actions, and even my silence. I can be hurt too. I can be fearful of things I don't yet understand, and timid to try something new. I have a heavy heart when I feel sadness. I am human. But then I remind myself that because I am human, I can make choices. I can move forward. A poor choice can become a better choice with thoughtfulness. A bad day can become a great day with kindness. I can act with compassion and lend a helping hand. I can treat others with equality and be fair. I can choose not to fight, but instead to listen, and find common ground. I can say, I'm sorry, and ask for forgiveness. I am human, one of billions but unique. I am not alone, I am connected to my friends, to my family, to the world. We are all humans together. And I will keep trying to be the best version of me. I am full of hope. I am human. Thanks for watching. If you like this book, please subscribe for more kids' books read aloud.
Our Faith in Action partner for July and August is One Iowa. One Iowa seeks to improve the lives of LGBTQ Iowans by protecting and advancing equality and inclusiveness through education, improving workplace culture, and increasing the access to quality health care across our state. What One Iowa does can be described in 3 words: educating, advocacy, and collaboration.
Thank you, Meg. I'd like to ask now that Linda Lemons. Linda, are you on here? I saw you.
Yes.
Linda has a few words she would like to share with us.
Thank you, Reverend Amy. I first want to thank Reverend Amy and the Board of Trustees for agreeing to be a co-sponsor of local commemoration events acknowledging the 75th anniversary of the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which will be held in Des Moines between August 6th and August 9th. First Unitarian Church of Des Moines joined 9 other groups, some of which include Catholic Peace Ministry, Des Moines Faith Committee for Peace, Iowa Peace Network, Des Moines Area Religious Council, and Women's International League for Peace and Freedom to commemorate this event. Members of these groups will start the commemoration on August 6th by ringing the Japanese bell at the Capitol complex 75 times, starting at exactly 10:58 a.m., the time the United States dropped the bomb on Nagasaki. I have been granted permission to enter our church building and ring our church bells 75 times, while others are ringing the Japanese bell. Mayor Frank County, a past president of Mayors for Peace, will also record a speech. These events will be made available on YouTube beginning August 9th. People are also welcome to lay flowers at the base of the Japanese bell during the bell tolling or any time up through Sunday, August 9th. If you do visit the Japanese bell, please wear a mask and practice safe distancing. WILF members will also be commemorating the 75th anniversary of the formation of the United Nations, which also happened in 1945. Today, we are still working to advocate for the rights of people and planet, to focus on care and wellness, while working to dismantle the political interests of power and domination. So if this Thursday you hear church bells and the Japanese bell ringing, please take time to acknowledge the history of violence and also the hope and possibility of a beloved community in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. Pig and a chicken were walking through a poor section of the city. Everywhere they looked, people were struggling. Many appeared ill and underfed, and the chicken said to the pig, "Look at all these hungry people. Let's give them ham and eggs for breakfast." The pig thought for a second and said, "Wait a minute. For you, that's a donation. For me, it's a sacrifice." Now, I'm not asking for the pork, but I would like to hear a little cackling here this morning. The morning offering will now be given and received to the link in the chat. 1/2 of this electronic plate pass goes into the social justice programs of the church, and 1/2 to our Faith in Action partner this month, One Iowa. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. That was lovely. And thank each and every one of you for the gifts and the talents you bring to the life and the work of this community. Because a church isn't a building, it is a community. And as a community of human hearts and human hands, we come together to share our laughter and our tears, and to bear witness and to minister to one another as we struggle with life's sorrows and celebrate life's joys. We have a sorrow that was sent in. Walter Tomlinson says, "I fell when I was walking on Friday, July 31st, and we went to urgent care, and I discovered that I broke the humerus in my right arm." Walter says, "I have an appointment with an orthopedist on Monday morning. The doctor I saw today said I won't need surgery, but will need PT later, physical therapy later. For now, my arm's in a sling. I'm typing one-handed," he writes. So please hold Walter in your hearts and send all good wishes. Let's share together now the names of anyone we know who could use some special care and attention. Please feel free to type their names into the chat so that the love of this community can hold them all. And we're going to pause so that you can do that. May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May we travel hand in hand with all of those who fight for equity and justice in human relations. May the work of our hands and our hearts support and comfort all those who are marginalized, oppressed, silenced, or at risk. May we be called to mindful action by the needs of those who struggle against violence, pain, degradation, and destruction. May those who are grieving be comforted. May those who are tired find rest. May all the broken places be healed. And may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant. Together, we light 3 candles, one for all the joys and the sorrows we've shared, one for the names that we've written, and a last candle for all of the joys and all of the sorrows which are deeply held in our hearts, but which remain unspoken here today.
Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul.
Our first reading this morning is titled History of the Idiom, Down the Rabbit Hole by Elaine Zelby for Medium. The first use of this phrase, falling down the rabbit hole, comes to us thanks to the great Lewis Carroll, who introduced the term in 1865 in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. In the story, Alice literally falls down the hole of this white rabbit, taking her to Wonderland. In this case, falling down the rabbit hole meant entering a stage and, a strange and absurd alternate universe, which many believe was supposed to represent a psychedelic experience. Well, for over a century, the term went unused in common parlance until the internet. The internet gave us infinite things to pique our interests, to the point of distraction and unlimited ways to stay trapped in the metaphorical rabbit hole. Today, when people say they went down the rabbit hole, they usually mean they got sucked into spending way too long reading about or researching something on the internet. But why rabbit hole? Why not into the spider's web or caught in a beaver's dam? In a fantastic piece written in the New Yorker, the author notes, as a metaphor for our online behavior, the rabbit hole has an advantage those other fictional portals lack. It conveys a sense of time spent in transit. In the original story, Alice falls for quite a while, long enough to scout out the environment, grab some food off a passing shelf, speculate erroneously about other parts of the world, drift into a reverie about cats, and nearly fall asleep. Sounds like us on the internet, all right. In the current use of rabbit hole, we're no longer necessarily bound for a wonderland. We're just in a long, attentional free fall with no clear destination and all manner of strange things flashing past. Most uses of down the rabbit hole in the modern context fall into a few categories. First, paralysis analysis. You're searching for something, say a pair of jeans, but paralysis analysis takes hold when the internet affords so many options, you spend the next 3.5 hours looking at over 200 styles of jeans. The second type, the hop, skip, jump. You're interested about a certain topic, say SEO, and a certain article links you to another article, which links you to another article, and so on and so forth until you've spent 6 hours reading everything you can find on the subject. Thirdly, they call squirrel. You look up a specific fact, say how many types of mammals exist, which leads you to the fact that kangaroos are mammals, which leads you to looking up where to find kangaroos in Australia, which leads you to research the best times of the year to vacation in Australia, which leads you to Airbnb properties in Sydney, and by the time you look up, 4 hours are gone. It's unclear exactly when or how the term became popularized in the modern or in the post-internet era. If anyone finds out, you're supposed to shoot the author a note. But they would argue that most platforms are purpose-built to provoke the behavior of, as Alice would say, becoming curiouser and curiouser, to the point of distraction and loss of time. Just think about Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Google, to name a few. My guess is we've all fallen down one of these rabbit holes at least a few times. Now we just have to guess what the next rabbit hole will be.
Thanks, Meg. Our meditation thoughts today come from God is the Machine, which appeared in Wired magazine. It's by Kevin Kelly. And Kevin writes, computation seems almost a theological process. It takes as its fodder the primeval choice between yes or no, the fundamentalist state of 1 or 0. After stripping away all externalities, all material embellishments, what remains is the purest state of existence. Here, not here. Am, not am. It's very Old Testament, he writes. When Moses asked the Creator, who are you? That being said, in effect, am. One bit, one almighty yes. One, exist. Simplest possible statement. Everything from this perch is made from this irreducible foundation. Every mountain, every star, the smallest salamander or woodland tick, every thought in our mind, each flight of a ball is but a web of elemental yes-nos woven together. If the theory of digital physics holds up, movement, energy, gravity, dark matter, and antimatter can all be explained by elaborate programs of 1, 0 decisions. Yes, no. Bits can be seen as the digital version of the atoms of classical Greece, the tiniest constituents of existence. But these new digital atoms are the basis not only of matter, as the Greeks thought, but of energy, motion, mind, and life. With these words in mind, please join me in 3 minutes of silence, meditation, or prayer.
Our second reading is entitled The Rabbit Hole by Catherine Schultz, written for The New Yorker. The rabbit hole as metaphor for distraction is not a purely negative thing. Unlike time sink or time suck or just plain waste of time, falling down the rabbit hole when used in this sense suggests not a total loss, but rather a guilty pleasure. Sure, we could have spent those hours reading Thomas Mann, but go tell that to Alice. When her story begins, she is terribly bored, not just in general, by the prospect of a slow summer day, but in specific, by what we would call today long form writing. And what is the use of a book, she wonders, after glancing over her older sister's shoulder, without pictures and conversations? Of many uses, this book critic would hasten to tell her. But I would say much the same thing about rabbit holes and the headlong, hopscotching, borderline random encounters they enable. And I wouldn't be the first. In Tristram Shandy, Lawrence Sterne wrote, digressions incontestably are the sunshine. They are the life and soul of reading. In The Anatomy of Melancholy, Robert Burton described his mind as like a ranging spaniel that barks at every bird he sees. That's the happiest image of intellectual appetite I've ever encountered. And I suspect that Burton, and Sterne too, would have appreciated the current proliferation of rabbit holes. The common charge against our online habits is that they are shallow. But in keeping with the metaphor, rabbit holes deepen our world. They remind us of the sheer abundance of stuff available to think about, the range of things in which it is possible to grow interested. Better still, they present knowledge as pleasure. The modern rabbit hole, unlike the original, isn't a means to an end. It is an end in itself, an end without end, inviting us ever onward, encouraging us to keep becoming, as Alice would say, curiouser and curiouser. Our next song today is number 1024, When the Spirit Says Do. The words will be in the chat screen. Please keep your mics muted, but enjoy.
You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do, oh Lord. You got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 Don't you sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing, oh Lord. You got to sing, oh Lord. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 Spirit says laugh. You got the Spirit says laugh. You got to laugh, my Lord. You got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. 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 The Spirit says
I don't know about all of you, but I know that I'm tired. I'm tired of ignorance, and I'm tired of hatred. I'm tired of the news. I'm tired of our president telling us that scientists and peaceful protesters, that journalists and immigrants, that our fellow Americans, that they are all our enemies. They're not our enemies. I'm tired of lies and misdirections. I am so tired of COVID-19 and living with disruption and fear. I'm tired of the deaths from violence in the streets, from the police, from illness. Tired of climate change, and I'm tired of militarized police. I'm tired of false fights over minutia and trivia while people die. We hear it every day. You're doing too much. You're not doing enough. You're culturally appropriating while you're refusing to see differences. You didn't say it right. You didn't do it right. It never stops. And sometimes it feels like standing in the middle of a tornado, waiting for the other side to hit. Now, normally when the world is too much with us, we have ways of escaping. We all have ways of escaping. We bike and we hike. We cook, we meet with friends, we eat and drink. Take our kids out to a park. But even doing these everyday things isn't simple right now. And no matter what you're doing, someone is going to say you're doing it wrong. Whether you personally or in a message on the news or an op-ed piece. So maybe it's time to revisit those rabbit holes that you just heard about in our readings today. Going down a rabbit hole on the internet means you start out looking for something specific, you heard that, and you follow links from page to page until you end up somewhere you never thought of, somewhere you never intended, somewhere you never dreamed of. Usually hours have gone by while you've lost yourself. According to Margaret Rouse, in a fall down a rabbit hole, an individual sets off. They set off on a path with a goal and they get sidetracked by various events. They change direction several times along the way and they end up somewhere unexpected, typically without having satisfied the original purpose of this quest. Nevertheless, the path leads to serendipitous discovery. Serendipitous discoveries, I like that. Serendipitous discovery. It sounds like a Unitarian Universalist path. Furthermore, she writes, according to the principle of obliquity, the meandering path may eventually turn out to be more productive than a more direct one. Let me repeat that. The meandering path may eventually turn out to be more productive. If you're a reader of J.R.R. Tolkien, think of the words of Gandalf, "Not all who wander are lost." Serendipitous discoveries and wandering past, that really sounds Unitarian Universalist. We wander around until we learn something. And then we look around to see if we want to change our mind or do it differently. And then we set off again. As Unitarian Universalists, we say that wisdom comes from many, many places and people. And sometimes we need to find new places. Sometimes the world seems to be on fire. Sometimes the world is a dumpster fire. And exterior travel is a challenge. Sometimes we need to find a new way of traveling, an inside way of traveling that still lets us be free. We need to go deeper. We need to explore down these rabbit holes until we find ourselves. We need to find the places that lead us not to the predictable places of wisdom that we've always drawn from, but to strange new places, beautiful and strange and fascinating places that expand our perspective and give us brave new vistas of thought to explore. There are amazing places out there to find the start of a rabbit hole. Some of them you may know already, and some of them you may have never heard of. So let's start with Reddit. It's the self-proclaimed front page of the internet. It's a social sharing website. It's built completely around users sharing text and images and videos, sharing conversations and arguments and thoughts. And in real time, everyone can vote on everything that's there, up or down. I like it, I don't like it. Yes, no. Popular content rises to the top, unpopular sinks to the bottom. So the things you see first are the things that most people agree on. And Reddit gets divided into smaller groups, smaller communities called subreddits. A subreddit is a community, a board. Each one is titled starting with an R and a backslash, and then the name, like r/cats or r/cars. If you go to Google and type R and a slash and any word, it will take you to the Reddit board about that thing. Reddit is a play on words. I read it on Reddit. It's a very bad dad joke. But what isn't bad is the fact that as of 2 years ago, Reddit hit 330 million users. 330 million people arguing and talking and sharing with one another. Reddit is a network of communities. There are 138,000 subreddits. 330 million people get along well enough to talk and share together. The most popular content in the world upvoted. People can talk about each other's posts. People can share ideas about anything, and I do mean anything. Sort of like a dresser, where the shape of the dresser is Reddit and the drawers are subreddits, communities. You can go to the Reddit website, Reddit. You can start there, or you can just go to Google, r/whatever word. Try r/Unitarian if you can't think of anything else. Go and read, comment, and think. And when some link that someone has posted catches your eye, go on, go forward. You don't have to stay where you are. You shouldn't stay where you are. Don't stay on target. Don't have a target at all. Hit and skip from page to page. Wander, wonder, learn and think. And when you're tired of words, there are other rabbit holes. When you become Alice and can't stand one more meaningful discussion, try another site. Start on Imgur, Imgur, Imgur. It's an image site. You can start looking in the most viral section, newest first. It works just like Reddit. Images get shared. These images aren't always for kids, but sometimes they are. They range from the bizarre and the grotesque to the sublimely beautiful. Below each image is what is called the sauce. Where did they get it? And those are the links that lead you out to new things. On Imgur, I have learned about new scientific discoveries, new mathematics, new music, and new art. I've talked with game developers about their newest games, argued politics. There are no real names there. You have no idea who you are talking to. Bill Gates is a member, Adam Savage. There are actors and authors and normal people and Nobel Prize winners. One day, people were laughing about a screen grab, a simple meme that they took from Jurassic Park. It was from the credits. It said, "Dinosaur Wrangler, Phil Tippett." And people found this hysterical, and someone created a meme that said, "Phil, it wasn't amateur hour. People died because of your lack of supervision. There were raptors all up in the kitchen, Phil. In the kitchen." But a few hours later, the real Phil Tippett, who's also an Imgurian, he posted, "To be fair, there were a lot of dinosaurs and it was a big job." You never know who you're talking to, but these same goofy, kooky people who share bizarre and wonderful images have also created a free food program for when other Imgurians run out of food, so that someone with money can get hooked up with someone without food, no matter what continent you're on or what language you speak or what your politics are. They've organized protests and fundraisers. They paid for Imgurians' dentures. They got together last year to save a stray, hurt dog that someone actually caught in a picture, working across 3 countries and 2 continents to find people to go to the street and find the dog and get them adopted. At Christmas, they coordinate a Secret Santa program so that people who haven't gotten Christmas presents in 20 years can participate and get presents. Democracy in selecting what you see first, but even the least liked things are available. Relentless practicality with a huge heart, honest commentary, encouragement, and new things, so many new things, life and creativity. So much hope. When you need to put down the fight, when you need to work on soothing your own heart, these rabbit holes lead to hope. They take you to places where Republicans and Democrats and Green, where British and Chinese and American and Canadian and Australian, where they're all together and they're not hating, but they're creating and innovating and thinking and planning. They're lighting their lamps from the dumpster fires, and they're going out to light the way for each other. And the best part is you can participate in any way you like. If you're tired, you can read, you can look, you can search only for the beautiful and the calming. You can think and relax. You can be a consumer with no one judging you and telling you you're doing it wrong. You can toy with ideas. You don't even have to comment or vote. Think, expand, and grow. Feed your heart. Smile at the goodness. Marvel at the amazing things there. Groan at the bad humor. Feast on links to new writing, and when you've had enough time, when you've had the inclination or the moral and physical and emotional strength, you can comment, you can post, you can write or paint, you can sing. You can join in exploring those new ideas and new ways. You can begin to create the new rabbit holes. The cyber seas lead us to shores filled, absolutely filled with rabbit holes, and they are yours to explore. Please let your journey begin today.
We extinguish this light, but never the light of love, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of our community. Our final song today is 1021, Lean on Me. The words are in the chat screen. Keep mics muted. Sing along at home if you want to.
Sometime in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll make you carry on, for it won't be long, and I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow. Oh, no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long until you will need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry on, right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a friend. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have lead on.
Thank you, Barb and Bruce, and thank you, Nancy, for playing under the sermon. Just a reminder that when we get done with the service, we will go into breakout rooms, and anyone who wants to is invited to come back at noon if you want to talk about anything about the service. The service has ended, and your service in the world begins again. Go and find your rabbit holes. Peace, ashe, and may it be so.